Hey guys, it's layout update time over here. I'm gonna be doing some more track work. So you can see over here, I have got our track laid out. We've finished our turnouts back there, and I used up the rest of my flex track, or at least my good flex track that I have here that was fairly new, and got it all the way into the new section over here. As you can see, we're going to be heading all the way down there, and I got the plan out here, and this is the section we're looking at right there. So we're right at that curve right there in the corner, and I just kind of measuring out, seeing where I was going to put the street over here, and you can see my curve from here. So my initial thing was my street was going to be right about here where my hand is, kind of going up this way. I might just kind of move it out this way. Who knows? We'll see. But the thing is, I want to get this curve done right here, and I need to do a little bit more, little section of track right there, which I'm going to use a piece of flex track that I just happen to have right here, left over from wherever, and we're gonna go ahead and have that about that far before the turnout starts, someplace right there. If you can't tell if you can really see it right there, but when I had the tape, the blue painter's tape on here with the actual plan, so I can kind of still see it after I pulled it up over here. Leaves just kind of a little mark right there, and you can kind of make out where it is. So that's my little guide right there. Now remember, this is all kind of shifting off that way a little bit farther. A little bit closer towards the background, and that's where we're working. We're going to put that turnout in and just a little section of track. I initially here, or at least on the plan, had it curved, but we kind of modify things as we go. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut. You can see the way this flex track kind of ended up right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut right there. And then we'll cut this one to fit a little bit, and we'll get it going straight right there and get our turnout in. So let me go ahead and get the Dremel out, start cutting. All right, just one little safety tip here before I start cutting. You can see I got my Dremel right here, got a little cutting head on there. It's my last one too, because I keep breaking these things, and just a little safety thing, always wear some eye protection, eye pro right there. Because you get, you're cutting the rail there. You've got little bits and shards that are flying up and everything. And then I have had these things break on me while I'm cutting, and that piece goes flying. So definitely use some eye pro. Unfortunately, the only one I got over here is these tinted lenses for going to the range type of deal. But hey, it works over here. So let's get to cutting. Eye pro on, and I'll silence the noise here, but here we go. All right, first cut done, and then we'll measure this thing off to see how far I want it. How far I want it to go, at least on the tape right here. I've got the turnout right about here, but I'm going to try to kind of maybe bring it out. It's actually, the turnout's right here. If I can show you, there's the initial track plan that I had, was a turnout right there. This track's actually going to be over here, and the turnout's going to be over here, and then we'll have an industry track back there. So I got to get to cutting this thing and fitting it. I got my rail joiners on there, and you can see I got a lot of paint on these. I do not rely on the rail joiners to power the track. Every single piece of track I have gets powered, so it really doesn't matter, except in some spots. I want to make sure I get a little bit of extra sort of secondary power right there. So there we go, we've got that. Just fit it in there, and there's our piece of track we cut. And then I'll kind of straighten this one out here and do a little bit of measuring here from here to here, make sure it's all good, and then we'll cut it wherever I'm going to actually put the turnout. All right, so I'm kind of just debating here where to actually stick the turnout. And like I said, let me grab one over here. I think, according to my little tape thing, my turnout was someplace right about there. But I think I might just move it up a little bit because I don't want it on a curve. And you can see, it's got a little straight edge here. You can see it's straight right up till about right there, and then it starts kind of deviating along the curve. So I'm going to go ahead and probably cut right there. And so that's where our turnout will be, which is pretty close to where I had my little mark right here. It's like right about there. So just a little bit farther down, maybe an inch or two like that. But hey, that's the way I do it. I kind of just wing it here a little bit, see how things fit in, and keep on going. So more cutting here. And you do actually have a little bit of wiggle room here. Now, just for the heck of it, I've got a nail right there and a nail right there. You know, you can always just drill a new nail wherever, you know, right, drill hole through the tie and put another nail in there. But I think I'm just going to do it right in the middle right there. It's a little bit into the curve here, ever so slightly, but you always have a little bit of wiggle room to straighten that turnout out. All right, let's go ahead and cut it right there. I'm basically going to cut it between the two nails right there. I'm going to cut right there. All right, well, we'll get this piece off, and we're going to go ahead and pull this tie off right here. We'll leave the nail one in there, and then unfortunately it's one of the ones that's got the plastic underneath, so I got to pull this piece up actually, and before I cut it. All right, and I just you can see the little plastic piece right here, so we're going to take that first tie off. It's just a matter of getting underneath there and kind of clipping this. These are a pair of old trimmers I've got that are pretty crappy, so I don't really care if I kind of mess them up or whatever. Not that you'd mess them up cutting plastic, but I use a cheap one here to cut the actual track there. And then just touch this up with a little bit of, what do you call it? I'm losing my mind here. One of these. Just sand it down here just a little bit. Make sure you guys can see that, but get the burrs off of there. File. My goodness, I'm going freaking batty on me. Why can't I remember things like that? Got too much on my mind. Trying to do a video. Can't remember I'm going to use a file. It's just taking the burrs off the ends here on the interior there so we can get our turnout on there nice. Alright, let's get that one back in place. Now again, once you put this thing back in, you know, the inside rail here, or the inside rail is the one that moves. So I kind of close it up right there. That's just a little bit of a Sharpie mark right there that you can see. And so there's no gap right there. Again, that little dark spot is just the Sharpie where I marked for the cut. And then what I'm going to do is find my holes. This one should be pretty straightforward right there. I'll stick that one in, and there's my other nail. That is right about there. Something like that. And then the very end right here, you can see our cuts. So that's about where it's going to go. Close enough. Alright, and our rail should join nicely onto here. Now, you can see, I can tell already, it's just the way it's just the way it's sitting here. You got to adjust it a little bit. And if I try to do a straight one there, this one's a little bit shorter right here than that one, but it is snug up against that, and I think that's enough. This is where I put in that sort of expansion joint, right? So what I do is just kind of grab the rail down here and just slide it a little bit. You can see it sort of moving back and forth. So I am going to put just a little bit of a little tiny gap right in there. And what I'll end up with is a little tiny gap right there at the turnout there. So that's where I get my expansion, at least. Or at least that's the way, doing it this way, I kind of just instinctively or naturally get those expansion gaps in the rail, so don't have any heat with, or don't have any problem with the heat. All right. So I just put a couple of rail joiners on there and stuck that on there. And we're just moving along, so that's how I do it. Now, I granted this is kind of on a curve right there, and there might be just a little bit of a kink right here. It's sort of exaggerated because the ties aren't in there. But what happens is when I'm going to be gluing stuff down, I'm going to go over all this, because this track's all going to come up, because then I'm going to drill holes down for each section. To do the the power leads like that, and when I do this one here, I'll kind of make sure we get rid of any kink right there. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep on going over here, and then I think this will be like sort of the first half of the video. I won't post it, but I'll post when I get a little bit more done here. Well, guys, I ran out to my local hobby shop, and wouldn't you know it, they are all out of Atlas Code 100 Flex Track. Goodness sakes. Hey, at least the good thing is that somebody else is buying it up, so there's some local model railroaders. Got to go figure out where they're at. Anyway, I could, I guess, drive out to a couple of the other shops that are a little bit farther away from me, but hey, it's 4th of July weekend, or at least the pseudo 4th of July weekend here. Meaning everybody's going to be blowing off fireworks and they're going bananas this weekend, so I'm not going out driving around. So anyway, I'm going to cut this video here. I'll post this up. We got a little bit of work done over here, and I'm going to go maybe just order up all my Flex Track. I did take a kind of quick measurement here. This yardstick just happens to be 3 feet, and so it's the exact same size as the Flex Track. Took a look at my plan over here and just kind of generally figured out I probably need about 16 pieces of Flex Track. So yeah, I'm gonna go order that stuff up, and hopefully we'll get it in the mail pretty quick and we can get back to work. In the meantime, I do have a couple old pieces right here. I'll try to clean them up. I got like 2 or 3 pieces of former Flex Track here. You can see they're still kind of cruddy here with ballast and stuff. And I always try to reuse my track, so I'll see if I can't get this one cleaned up and a little bit straightened out, and use a little bit of that in the background there. Maybe it'll be an industry spur there or something, I don't know. Anyway, guys, hope you have a good 4th of July weekend, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video here. Maybe we'll do some running on the trains. I don't know. I might just run out and get my electrical cord I need, and we can start kind of powering up some of this track, so we can get our maintenance of way train over here from the last video out and running into that section. All right, guys, take care. See you later.